Welcome to my little space, where heart and hook stitch up a place, where we can together make a refuge, safe for all our sake. Here I'm working on a Björk doll, which you saw me getting started in the last chapter. I'm still doing the protein powder in my coffee, in my cold coffee, but I've taken to using my immersion blender. Look how frothy it is. I put a small handful of ice cubes in it, so it's a little bit icy, but just enough that it kind of melts slowly as I drink it. But using the immersion blender, it's like nice and thick and creamy. Do you see the thickness there? Oh, I love it. Totally recommend. Well, what do you think? It is the swan dress for my Björk doll, who is finished aside from her dress and her shoes and her hair. And so this is how it will work. It's obviously a separate piece right now, but I will stitch it onto the body once I'm done attaching all the feathery parts. So it's going to go around her body like that. It will stitch on, so it won't be removable. And then the swan neck will go around her neck and drape down like that. I was quite pleased when I came up with this simple little pattern, because it really looks like a swan head, doesn't it? So now, as you can see, this is sort of like a little bit of a chain lattice type of stitching here. It's chains and single crochets, and I will go through each row and do some top stitching with this eyelash yarn, and then do my little fringy bits in this sparkly yarn, and then I can attach it. Then I can do her shoes. She's got little white high heels, and her hair. Oh, and she gets an egg, because when she walked the red carpet at the Oscars, the real Björk, she had some eggs stashed under her dress, and she would lay eggs on the red carpet. Unfortunately, somebody was gathering them up, not leaving them there. I guess you can't leave your eggs on the red carpet at the Oscars. So here she goes. Oh, she's looking halfway almost there. Well, on that time lapse, I completed 2 of the 6 rows that needed the top stitching of the eyelash yarn. So you can kind of see the effect it has there as it goes down. And now I'm going to change into some PJs and just really kick back and relax and do the rest of this, and probably jump into the other parts of the doll if I don't get too sleepy. Okay, here we can get the overall effect of the skirt or the dress. I'm gonna make a note on my notes to myself. I did take note of when I made the first Björk doll, how I did the dress, and that was very helpful. But what I didn't take note of was whether or not I stitched this onto the doll before adding all of the frilly bits or after. And just now I added all the frilly bits and then I stitched it on. And I think what would be better, I don't remember how I did it the first time, it would be a lot easier to stitch it on first and then add the frilly bits. So I'll do that next time. I'm going to take note of that because it was just kind of hard to handle. Oh yeah, and look, she has her tattoo on her upper left arm there. I think she's so pretty, and see, it's got the little bits of sparkly regular yarn here for some different sizes of texture. All right, it's a new morning. There's Willie chilling in his bed, and I just thought I'd show you. This is the sole of the shoe for her little strappy heeled sandals, and what I do is I just attach it, you know, at the bottom of her foot like this, and wrapping up the back of her heel, as you can see here. So I stitch all the way around, and then of course when I'm done crocheting this piece, I leave a really long strand of yarn, and then I do all this stitching to make the little strappy sandals, and then I'll make a separate piece for the heel. And yes, my dolls pretty much all have big fat feet. So, as you can see, we're working on hair now. I've got a wig cap made and stitched on the top of her head. And as you can see, I've got a long chain of little curls. I'm doing them all the same length this time. So she'll end up with like a nice layered look to her hair. And I'm putting one chain in between each strand here, each curl, which is just a chain with single crochets going back across. It's 15 single crochets long for each one. And then as you can see, I've attached it starting at the center, and I'm going to spiral it out, and I'm going to attach it into every other round going out. I'm thinking every 3 stitches. So every 3 holes, I'll loop my stitching yarn over the chain in between and down and back up again from the wig cap, and I'll spiral around. And what I do is I make a bunch, as you can see, and when I get down to the last few, if I need more, then I crochet more, and then I just keep going. So I've got my working yarn down here with a loop so I can start crocheting more, and this is my starting strand from beginning that I leave nice and long for sewing, so I can sew it on as I go, and I can crochet more strands of hair as I go and as I need, so I don't have to count out exactly how many strands I'm gonna need. Guess what? She's done. Except I'm still right now trying to decide whether I want to leave her with no mouth, which to me gives her sort of endless possibilities of expression. You could imagine anything. See her little shoes. Or I could give her a simple smile line. I'm thinking with red, because I used red initially for the first version of this doll. If I gave her like a little smile line underneath the nose, just like something like that. Oh my gosh. Okay, now that I see that, I feel like she might need that. Obviously, I'm not going to take a poll right now and go with what you guys think, but what do you think? I'm just curious what you think in the comments. After seeing it on my phone right there, I am going to add the red smile line. I do like this design with no mouth, because you could imagine her with any kind of emotion right now. But something about the pop of red, I feel like, is very Nice. Yeah, I'm going to do a smile line. I asked my customer what he wanted, and he said it's for a gift for his girlfriend, and he gave me artistic freedom to choose myself. So that's it. I thought I was probably going to go without the smile until just now when I was holding that red up, looking at it on my phone. So I'll do that. I'll give her a fun little photo shoot tomorrow morning, maybe. And then I'll get on to my other orders. I've since starting this doll, I got 2 more orders that I need to make. They're small though. I have one Ruth Bader Ginsburg collar that'll work up in like an hour, and then I need to kill the acrylic by putting it in hot water and block it outside in the heat if it's still hot outside by the time I get to that. And then I have a mouth puppet to make, which I already have the 2 little pockets for the top and bottom parts. I just need to make the tongue and what I call the hinges that go over the backside, and attach the buttons and the little button loops because it's going to have tongue ties. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the mouth. Those things, they're small. I can get them done quickly. I can get all of this done today. And then I'm going to dive into another shrug, the orange this time. Those pretty yarns that I bought that you saw in my last video. Oh yeah, and before I forget, here's the egg. These whipped up real quick. By the way, if you didn't know, WIP stands for work in progress. Well, I did get my start at the next shrug, all in orangey tones. Obviously, there's pops of other stuff, like there's a yellow in this one. This one has like a bit of gold, which is also kind of an orange anyway. And then the last yarn I'm going to use has a little bit of green. But I am repeating my panels this time. I didn't really have a ton of oranges to kind of mix them up for every single panel. So this is a repeating one, as you can see. Like, it's the same yarns for each row is what I mean. And the next yarn I'm going to use is this new pretty yarn that I just showed in my last video that I went and bought at Michael's. Basically got it half price. And I am all caught up in my Etsy shop right now. I don't have any orders on hand. It's always a race to try to get through my orders and see if I can finish my last order and start something else before another order comes in. And then oftentimes at this time of year, at least, more orders come in before I can quite finish the last ones, which is good. That's what I want. But I'm also still striving to like catch up, even though what I really want is the orders to come in. So it's funny. I guess I'm just happy either way it goes. But since I did get caught up, I started a little list for myself, a little to-do list. So I wanted to make this shrug and a matching hood in the same yarns. And then I'm going to make my next Nana to get on top of that for next week. And that's named after my friend Richard. I've already named it, but I haven't even made it yet. And then the next thing I want to do, and I think I can do all this even if I get a custom order, like these few things that I want to get through, I can get through. I'm sure I can before I need to send another custom thing in the mail. This is my scraps bag. It is really getting full. So another thing I want to do is get going on finishing. I have a spindle that has some yarn worked on it, and I want to get one more batch, one more boarded blend. I can't talk. My blending board. I want to get that filled up one more time with fluff that I make from my scraps and spin that onto my spindle as well. And then thread ply it and finish that yarn because it's been sitting on my spindle and I've been looking at it sitting there on my spindle going, I should finish that. That's the spindle that I filled up the last time I was down in San Diego, and you saw that several videos ago if you've been watching. And then I will have 3 skeins of handmade yarn, and I could either just hold on to them for longer, but probably not. I'm ready to just crochet them into some more squares for my really long-term project, my blanket. So I'm looking forward to doing that soon. Shrug, hood, Nana, spinning yarn, crocheting squares for my blanket. And then one more thing. It's just, I feel like it's been heavy on my mind ever since yesterday when I saw 2 murders on camera on Facebook. So one was the Ukrainian girl who got stabbed on the train, and the other was Charlie Kirk. Both just came across my feed casually scrolling on Facebook, and I wasn't expecting it. I certainly wasn't expecting anything gory to be shown to me on Facebook, because usually there's like a blurred out, censored, like warning. Imagery like that really sits with me and it makes me feel sick. And I do feel really disgusted and sad about both incidents. About Charlie Kirk, I am not one who's going to be like celebrating his death, because that was horrible. However, in my opinion, he was also a horrible person. Do I think this should have happened? Absolutely not. There's just this huge sense of irony that, like, the dread and sorrow that I have for what happened to him, I wish he felt that same level for the gun violence that he spoke of so much. This was a death from senseless gun violence, and he said that's an acceptable price to pay for having the Second Amendment. And so it's like this huge irony. It's like, no, I don't celebrate him dying. I just wish that he cared as much as we did, because the only thing that could have protected him was the stuff that he vehemently fought against. Things like gun control, sensible rules on who can have weapons like that, and what kind of weapons are people allowed to have. So I'm still just kind of, unfortunately, I'm kind of numb to all of it. And it's just like every time another thing comes out, and there was a school shooting same day yesterday. Every time another case like this happens, I can't help but slowly like numb myself to it a little bit more each time, because it's, what can I do, you know, other than talk about it here and there, express my frustration and sadness over it here and there, and try to speak out against people like Charlie Kirk. So anyway, I sympathize with everybody who feels no empathy for him right now. Like it's incredibly horrible thinking about his wife and children being there and witnessing it. So I certainly have a lot of empathy for them. I have empathy for him as a person who shouldn't be murdered, but it's like, of course, I'm not going to cry over him as I would somebody who I respect deeply. I didn't respect his ideas at all. So I'm just tired of it all. And I have such an intrinsic feeling of happiness and creativity that I want to just make stuff and express myself. And I find such fulfillment in that. So I almost have a sense of guilt, just the fact that I'm intrinsically so happy all the time. It's kind of weird. It's like this juxtaposition of just being happy and carefree and loving life, loving my life, and feeling guilty for enjoying my life so much and loving being happy when the state of things is as it is. Anyway, let me know how you're feeling about all of this in the comments. Back to some progress photos of my shrug. And now onto the hood. This is a very quick project. You can see the first yarns I'm pulling out of the top of my yarn scraps bag are these oranges from what I was just making. This, of course, takes way longer than what the time lapse makes it seem. Okay. Check it out. And now I can add that onto my spindle and we'll see if that's enough to thoroughly fill it up. It's been a little while since I've done this on camera. Can I still do it? Do I still have the knack? It's been a while. It was over the summer that I made this. Oh, I'm definitely... Ah! Okay. I needed to start connecting that lower down, I think. Let's see. I'm gonna definitely need to lint roll my leggings. Okay. Oh, no, we're still not off to a start here. Hold on. Gotta get the new stuff attached to the old stuff somehow. Let's see. Okay. Now I think we're going. And I should turn off my microphone so we don't have to listen to my chair squeaking. All right, well, I just wanted to show you a decent amount of this process in real time, but we are less than halfway through this one roll ag, so I will switch to time lapse now. I could get one more roll ag on here, I think. So I think I will do that before I finish this yarn. But I need to go get myself another icy protein coffee going first, I think. And I probably won't record that this time. I'll do one more roll ag, just like you saw. Brush out enough yarn scraps to fill up the board and roll it off, and then spin it. Get it onto the spindle, attach it to this strand here, and then I'll show you when I'm done with that. Okay, so we have a bit of a messy process happening here. These little chunks here are from that plush blanket yarn, and as you can see in my spin here, a lot of it does get trapped. And if I show you on the spindle, I think maybe more than 50% of it is getting trapped in the spin, but a lot of it does just fall out, as you can see all over me and my floor. So that is the I'll show you these scraps of blanket yarn. This one, I think it just depends on the brand. This one I was able to just pinch and pull all the little fluff off of the two center strings really easily. But there were other brands, I think basically all the other colors except for maybe one were really, really hard to pull off. And so I'm putting those in a separate scraps bag to put in my ornaments in the future. So you have a separate scraps bag here for like things that won't turn into fibers easily. And I'm a little bit torn on whether I want to continue using the fluff from this blanket yarn or not, just because it makes such a big mess. But like I said, I think more than 50% of it does get incorporated into the yarn, and then when I ply it, that should help glue it in. All right, this is that whole spindle's worth of yarn rolled off into a ball. And I think it's just gorgeous this way as a single. You could crochet with it or knit with it this way as a single. But I do like to thread ply it because I feel like it does give it some extra structure. And so that's what I'm doing here. I'm thread plying. Okay, I decided to stop the time lapse for a little bit because I thought I would show you some in real time. But that's all I have so far. So I'm like less than halfway done with this, and I've already been doing this for a while. And that's how much I still have unplied, obviously. So I've got my thread in this container on the floor over here so it can bounce around and unwind freely. And I've got the ball of my single behind me in my chair. So once again, I'm spinning the opposite direction now to ply these together. And watch. They just twist on each other. Lovely. I love it. Okay. Isn't that pretty? I feel like I'm connecting with ancestors or something doing this. As you can see, it is a labor of love. You could call it meditative, kind of. Although it does make it, just the fact that I'm on camera, it does make it a little bit more stressful and a little bit less meditative. Just the fact that I know I'm being recorded. And also, if I wasn't using my phone right now for recording, I could be watching something, listening to something with my phone. I don't have a TV in here, so I use my phone as like a TV when I'm not using it to record. So far, I've had no mishaps. It seems like the mishaps usually happen when I get towards the end of my initial spin, towards the center of the ball, because it seems like by the end of it, I'm kind of losing the twist and it wants to start coming apart. We shall see. Do one more. Whoa. And that's why I have to hold this over to the side so it doesn't get caught on there and tangle up around it. I'm gonna have to lean way back this time. That's good. Okay, so I think I'll go off camera again now and finish this. There, look, I got it all plied. Now, I still don't have some of the most basic tools for doing this skill, hobby, whatever you want to call it, art form, including a nitty naughty. But I really don't mind using my arm like this. It's definitely a workout for my right arm only, but I don't do this very often, making this yarn, and I'd just really rather not get another gadget unless I decide I'm doing this like all the time. So I'll speed up the video so you don't have to watch 8 minutes of me winding this around my arm. And now I need to tie this off in at least 3 places so that it doesn't, the wrap that I did doesn't get all tangled up and messed up. So it'll just keep everything in alignment. So here's the skein all full of angst. It needs to get some meditative chill out time in some hot water. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm going to let it soak. I ended up letting it soak for several hours. It doesn't really need to soak that long. I love chicken wings, so I cooked these. It's just a whole bag from Costco of their frozen chicken wings. As you can see, they've already been starting to go away onto people's plates. And then we've got meatballs, also the Costco frozen meatballs. Those are our own picked olives. Then there's pasta for the kids, and I made a lovely low-carb meal of it. I lined up my yarn scraps balls from smallest to largest, and this time I decided to take 4 arm spans worth of yarn from each ball and alternate between them. My hoods are named after Coco Rosie songs, and my shrugs are named after Beatles songs. So this hood is called Cut Stitch Scar, and the shrug is called Love Me Do. And I didn't even think about this being perfect for fall time and Halloween time coming up, but it's all orange, like a pumpkin. My partner treated me and the whole family to Texas de Brazil for dinner for my birthday, and I ate way too much. If you've never been to a Brazilian steakhouse and you like meat, you gotta check it out. It is my birthday. Hello. I'm wearing my birthday shrug that I made with this yarn that I got for my birthday last year. And I got a package in the mail. It may have been in my mailbox for a few days. I'm not sure because we don't always get the mail every day. It's more like once a week. And I already took a peek inside, but I thought I would open it again with you guys. This is, so there's a note in here. one of my customers, I don't want to show the addresses on there. One of my customers wanted to send me a necklace to thank me for this vest that I made her. I'll show you. You saw me making that in a previous chapter. Aura Adornments. I don't know if this is my customer's business, but I will go ahead and show it here. Aura Adornments. It says tarnish-free jewelry. Real shells and true crystals set with 18-karat gold and surgical steel findings. I'll put the information for this business in the description box. She says, thank you so much for the beautiful piece. Here is something for you, a moonstone and mother of pearl necklace. It was screaming your name. I knew you had to have it. And look at this, 2 customers within like a couple months of each other, both sending me something with moonstone. And look, it's little moons. Oh my gosh, it's so gorgeous. Oh, can we get it to focus? Now I understand why people show things with their hand behind it. Look, it's focusing nicely. I'm guessing. Which one is the moonstone? This is moonstone. It says moonstone and mother of pearl. So I'm not sure whether the moons are out of moonstone or mother of pearl, or the little spherical beads. They're so pretty. They sparkle. Catch some of the sparkling there. Oh yeah. Oh, this is really nice. And look how nice it'll look together with this one. You guys, I'm touched. I'm beside myself. I don't know if I can hook it on camera. Maybe I don't have the knack for doing it on camera. Let's try that one more time. Did I catch it? I didn't catch it. But we can imagine it together with my other moonstone. Oh my gosh. And I've got these crazy gaudy heavy earrings on too. I'm way over accessorized, but I like over accessorizing. Gosh. I have a lot of jewelry that is not like super nice. This feels really nice. And I really appreciate it. And it's never expected, but I'm touched. And so yeah, you'll get to see me wearing this as you've seen me wearing this a lot. I'm probably going to just add this and wear this a lot too. With a little editing magic, my necklace is suddenly on. Well, since it's my birthday, I thought I should do something fun tonight. I am working on finishing this Nana. I'm almost finished. I just need to finish making her breasts, getting those attached, and putting the little bit of embroidery or whatever I'm going to do on her. Oops, sorry. Bumping my mic. And then I thought, so you saw me finishing this yarn. This is the one that I just finished. Look how pretty. I need to pull out my light booth, my photo booth, and give this like a little photo shoot. I don't know the professional ways of the yarn, but I've just been giving it like a twist like that to photograph. And I still have these other 2 skeins that you saw me making in previous chapters that that never got scooped up by anybody, and I've had them sitting around since. Now the thing is, it takes a long time to make this yarn, and then it crochets up so fast. So I've just been holding on to it because it's like I may as well not blow through it. But then I thought, my birthday. It's my birthday. I may as well crochet through these yarns tonight. And then also this one. This is the last bit of my very earliest attempts at making yarn. Not the first batch, but the first multiple batches that I made. This is from that, where I was just mixing all of the fibers. Like I took my whole bag of scraps and I just mixed them all up completely. So it's more of a homogeneous, whereas these, you get a little bit more color changing, shifting going on. For my long-term project, this is all I've crocheted so far. This is like a couple skeins worth of yarn. And I'm just going to keep making yarn when I feel like it, here and there, and then crocheting them into these squares. So obviously this one is not a complete square yet. I'm going to make them all about this size. So I'm going to do that tonight after I finish my Nana. I'm going to finish Nana first, and then I'm going to crochet these into squares, and I'll show you how that goes. The only issue is I never took note of what hook I was using. So I don't know what size hook I was using for these. If you're a crocheter, you understand. I'm sure you've done this too. So I'm going to have to experiment. Like I can experiment on this one. I'll crochet along on top of it onto this one and hopefully, you know, be able to tell whether it's the right size or not. Because I can do a few more stitches here and see if it seems like it's matching everything else. And then when I do the same number of rows, it should be about the same as this. Although each is going to vary slightly because each of the yarns, they are not very consistent at all. So this is a project where it's really kind of okay that I don't know what hook size I was using, and it's all approximate anyway, but I'll figure it out. I'll figure out a hook that seems good, and then I'm going to write it down for myself. So off to finish the Nana and then crochet with my luxurious yarn scraps yarns. I mean, come on, look at that. Wow. So eventually, imagine that all going into like different squares, going into a blanket for your bed, for my bed. I'm lucky. I'm a lucky girl. I don't know. Anything else I want to say? I feel like this video is already getting kind of long, just recording a few segments here and there throughout the week. So, I appreciate you watching. If you've been watching, if you haven't been watching and then you're new here, please go back and watch my older videos. And I've been putting one out each week. So if you enjoy this, please share, please subscribe, all that good stuff. Hit the like button, hit the bell notifications so you get notified every time I post a new video. And I've been consistent every Tuesday. At some point on Tuesday, I'm posting a new full-length video. And I'm enjoying posting shorts, although it seems like the shorts just get a lot more views. And I'm hoping that the shorts will lead to more subscribers and more views on my longer videos, and ultimately sending people my way for my artwork that want to like buy my patterns or my items as gifts. So that's the whole reason I'm doing all of this. To be quite frank, I'm doing this to make my life as an artist, as a working artist, more successful. So, but I'm also having fun. So thanks for joining, and I'll show you the progress for tonight. Okay, I haven't gotten to any of the stuff I said I was going to do yet because I had to go do some Mario Kart with my kids and my mom. So we just did 4 races. Not a big deal. And no, big deal. Totally big deal. Got to do Mario Kart for my birthday with my kids and my mom. And then I just wanted to show you, I didn't go out of my way this time to make a keto birthday dessert for myself and everybody else. It's just not that important to me. But I felt like doing this for my birthday. This is, I'll show you. It's what I call strawberry ice cream. It's literally just frozen strawberries. It's just 4 frozen strawberries. They're pretty big though. It's this bag of Costco frozen strawberries. I put them in here. This is part of a like a bullet blender. I didn't even use that. I just used my immersion blender in this. And then I just poured some cream in. Probably like the strawberries like came up to here, and then the cream came up to like here. And then I did put 2 drops of sucralose and a little splash of vanilla. And then I used my immersion blender to blend it. It's a little bit hard at first, but let's see. Just strawberries blended with cream, frozen strawberries blended with cream. Perfect, like low sugar, low carb dessert. It obviously has some natural sugar from the strawberries, but strawberries are one of the lowest carb fruits. So I mostly don't even eat any fruit, but I will eat a few strawberries here and there. Like I had a few strawberries for Valentine's Day. So the last time I had strawberries was like February. And here we are in September. So I probably have like fewer than 10 strawberries per year. If you're trying to go low carb, I have tons of ideas. I'm not like really interested in making this a food page, but if you're curious, you can ask me in the comments if you have anything that you would like a copycat for, because I might have a really good copycat for it. One of the best copycat recipes I have is from Maria Emmerich. She calls it protein noodle lasagna, and it uses deli sliced chicken as the noodle, and it is quite surprisingly comparable to what like real noodle lasagna is like. I even tricked somebody once without meaning to. I told him what it was, and then I made reference to it later in the meal, and apparently it hadn't sunk in. And he's like, "What do you mean there are no noodles? What do you think this is?" And he held up a piece of chicken. He just still didn't know. So I'm going to get back to this. I just wanted to show it off and how delicious it is, and just an idea. So here I've photographed it from 2 different angles for one side, and then I flipped it over and did the other side. Okay, so I was really sleepy last night all of a sudden, and I just went to bed kind of early. So I did not do what I said I was going to do last night. I'm doing it this morning. And as you can see, I've spread out here. This is the order that I actually made these skeins. So I'm going to crochet them in order. But first I was working through that oldest ball. This is the Nana that I just finished this morning. She's got this sort of viney material wrapping all around her body and her arm and her leg and her head. This is Nana number 45. I'll be photographing her today as well, ahead of time for this coming Wednesday. Today's only Monday. And I experimented a bit. There was quite a bit more of this morning, and I don't remember where I started, but I think you can kind of see it, the last like 2 rounds here where I used this 8mm hook. And the reason I decided on 8mm was because those gloves that I made in a previous chapter, and I gave my little pattern and how I did them, I said I used an 8mm hook. So I guessed that maybe I used the same hook for when I started this project. And I may have, I'm not sure. But now that I've crocheted a couple rounds with the 8mm hook, I still have this edge to complete here, but like, look at this. If I line up this top corner and edge here and the edge here, this square is definitely bigger on the bottom, and it still has a row to go here. So it's definitely bigger. It might just be an effect of the yarn not being consistent, because it's just not consistent. It just might be bulkier yarn, or it might be the fact that I went up a hook size for the last couple of rows. Just this last edge here, I used a 7mm hook. And interestingly enough, when I line up the granny square clusters, it's like it lines up from granny square cluster to the to granny square cluster along this edge. It lines up the same. I don't know if this is the hook I used or not, but in doing this, I kind of feel like I could use either hook as long as I'm consistent from now on. And you know, this would stretch around to fit whatever squares are around it. But just the fact of just the feeling of crocheting with this hook as opposed to this one's plastic, this one's metal. This one just glides more easily and feels nicer on the yarn than the plastic. So just to be a little more consistent, and because it doesn't take long at all to crochet with this stuff, I'm gonna undo how much I did today with this ball of yarn. So I'm just gonna undo until I get to the knot where I knotted the ends together, and then redo it with this. And then I'll check and see how similar it is to this. I do know that this square is just bigger in general because I measured like the center part, and this part is definitely just a little bit bigger anyway. So maybe that will help to make it a little bit more similar. And then I'm writing it down, or even if I don't write it down, I have it recorded now that I'm using a 7mm hook. That's helpful in my lack of keeping notes when I document stuff. See, there it is. I don't have to write it down. All right, I'm quite pleased with this. So it ended up being, if I fold this over the top of it, they are very comparable in size. And I decided last minute that I needed to be smart about this. And along one edge here, I attached them as I went making this. So the way you do that is at the corner, I did a chain. I've been doing chain 2s at the corner. So at the corner, I did a chain 1, and then I did a slip stitch into this corner. And then I did my second chain 1. Then I did my 3 double crochets in this spot, and then I slip stitched in between these. Then I did my 3 double crochets and slip stitched here. 3 double crochets, slip stitch. So it is joining as I go. That way I won't have a bunch of seaming up to do at the end, and I can also see how big it's getting as I make each square, because it literally will be joining as I go. So I still have this much more of that oldest ball and these 3 skeins, so I will make another square and attach it somewhere as I go. And I'm thinking I will just sort of like, you know, spiral out. So like when I get to a corner here, after I do this one and attach it here, I'll have to like seam it or attach it along 2 edges at once. It's either that or making strips, or make a strip and then attach along. I think I'd rather spiral out until I gauge how wide I want the width to be. So how wide I want the width to be. That sounds silly. Well, I just nabbed these off of Facebook Marketplace. I drove into Fresno and she had it listed for $20. Now I made the mistake of assuming that these were like those big skeins that I was getting the other day at Michael's. But as you can see, for scale, there's my hand. They are smaller. So it was $1 per skein because there's 20 of them. And obviously I'm pretty sure some of them are not full, but most of them look like pretty full new skeins. They just don't have the labels. They're just smaller than I thought, which I think is still fine. It's still a good enough deal that I don't like regret buying them at $1 each. They are very, very soft. So they aren't like rough feeling at all, which I've experienced some of these kinds of yarns feeling a little stiff and rough. And I'm not sure of the size, but it feels kind of like a medium 4-weight yarn, which means that I could use them in my scrappy shrugs. So I'm glad I got them. It's not as great of a steal as I thought it was going to be, with thinking that they were those really large full-size skeins that are like, you know, $10 to $15 each when you get them new. Square number 3. I also still don't have a yarn swift, but that's fine. My knee works just fine with these little skeins that I've been making. Square number 4. In case you missed it, I'm making Nanas Against Trump and Fascism, and this one is named after my friend Richard. Richard is a friend and a big inspiration to me as somebody within the atheist community, and just a wonderful person. Well, I had enough of my hand-spun yarn scraps yarn to make the 4 squares that I just showed you in a picture, and they are already attached, plus another partial square. So I've definitely made some progress on my long-term project, and now it will be put away for a little while until the next time I have a chunk of time that I don't have other stuff that I need to make first, that I want to start making more yarn. But for now, check it out. Somehow pictures don't capture its beauty, in my opinion. You kind of need to see it in person or on video like this. So it is beginning to be a blanket because, like, I can do this. I mean, that legitimately could count as like a baby snuggle blanket, right? But just so you know, I have decided to not use those blanket yarn scraps where I'm pulling the fluff apart, because it's just so short, it does not stick in the yarn very well. So as I was crocheting, like it was going all over the place. Not crazy bad. Most of it came out in the process of spinning, but I mean, what was going to fall out already fell out, but more was falling out as I was crocheting. So I just know that as I use this blanket and potentially wash it over time, it's just going to shed more and more of those. So might as well not bother putting them in. And this is actually really soft feeling. The whole mix of fibers, it is admittedly mostly acrylic, but yeah. I'm going to cover up my mic if I put the blanket over my mic like that, so I can go like this. And I'll just say, crochet hooks and colors bright, crafting wonders day and night. Join the fun, come see it through, subscribe, and I'll create for you.